Mathematics is not my cup of tea. I don't like math. I hate math. Do you often find yourself saying all those kind of things? And even if you don't, some children are really decent not to say all those things about, especially mathematics. They feel as if mathematics is listening whenever they are talking bad about maths. But still, you get that feeling of anxiety whenever you come face to face with math, right? Are you one of those? Well, let's find out how to solve this problem, a very big problem, on the other side of the video. Okay, hi everyone. Hi, how are you doing? I know I'm meeting after a very long time. I'm so sorry about that. I just got a little occupied. Anyway, you know what? One of you requested, I received a mail from one of you, and she said, Ma'am, could you please make a video on how to deal with mathematics? Because I have no idea how to do that. And then I realized that actually it's been so many years and you've been studying in school, and some of you really are not very comfortable with math, what they call math phobia, right? You have developed that math phobia, and you started telling yourself every day that you are not good at math and nothing can be done about that. Yeah, actually some of you have said that thing to me, so I know, right? So you know what, first of all, some encouraging words for you. And by the way, these are not just motivational words. I'm going to give you some real fact that you often, what we say, ignore. Simply ignore. You don't even notice. You're not aware of it. So, you apply all these mathematics formula and all these, mathematics equation in your daily life. Have you ever realized when you are dancing, or maybe you are catching a ball while playing cricket, you're hitting a ball while playing cricket, or you're playing any other sport, right? Or doing maybe drawing or painting or whatever, you don't need mathematical instruments or formula for all of that. You are doing it all by yourself, right? So first of all, this thought that you are not good at math, you should throw this thought out of your head. Right now, you can pause a video and remind yourself one thing that you did today. You did not have to use any equation or formula for that, but you realize now that actually it required some mathematics. Even making a cup of tea requires mathematics. Don't you realize that? Yes, it does. You know it now. So if you're preparing a recipe, maybe you're helping your mother cook that, or you're buying something. That's a very common example when you're buying things from the store, or you're playing any kind of sport, or maybe drawing something, painting, anything. Yeah, we all have that natural flair of mathematics that we apply, but we never realize. Okay, so first of all, you need to stop saying to yourself that I am not good at math, because trust me, you are really good at math. You are doing amazing thing. If you're catching a ball, then a ball is falling down, and you can actually judge, and that you can actually catch it in your hands, then you have a great flair for mathematics, I'm telling you. Okay, so but let's come to the main thing. How to deal with the problems and formula. That's what we call the linguistic of mathematics, the language of mathematics that you study as a subject, right? And that you face a lot of problems with. So you know what I did? I came across this book. This book is A Mind for Numbers, right? Doesn't that sound interesting? So it says How to Excel at Math and Science. By the way, this book is for students who are in high school, or maybe in university. But some of the techniques which I found, I've not completed all of it, but a bit of it, and I found some techniques which are really helpful, and I want to share those techniques with you. So first of all, okay, I have made some notes here so that I don't forget everything or anything. By the way, there are just three techniques which I'm going to be sharing with you, because I know that you don't want long videos, right? So I don't even enjoy making long videos either. Okay, so first of all, it talks about picture talk. Now, picture walk. Sorry, it's not talk, it's picture walk. So, picture walk is something that, be it any any subject. No, why just mathematics? Before you're going to study that chapter, you just need to go through those pages of just flip through the pages of the chapter to look at the pictures, look at the diagrams or the figures, or even the questions which are given at the end of the chapter, maybe the exercises of mathematics book, even if you don't know anything about the topic. Yeah, but just to begin with, give like 3-4 minutes going through every page, noticing the diagrams and the figures, just the headings, what is written as the headings, and then come to the questions, right? So this really helps you're able to gather some thoughts, you're able to gather some kind of idea about that chapter, provided you do it sincerely, right? So if you're able to do it sincerely, you'll be able to gather some kind of idea about the chapter. You'll be able to what they say is organize your thoughts, and it will be easy for you to grasp the concept. So next time when you're beginning with a new chapter, say you're beginning with linear equations, okay, that is one chapter you study in all the classes, at least in junior section. So before you're going to go ahead, before your teacher is going to teach you, just flip through the pages, right? So that will help you understand that what level you're going to deal with in this class, right? That's number one technique. Now coming to number two technique, which I found very, very, very helpful, is that you start, see, the problem lies where you start solving a problem and you have no idea about the concept. How many of you do that? You like your teacher has said, your parents have said, practice mathematics, and you're like, okay, I'll practice mathematics. You open a random exercise and you start practicing, and you don't even know whether you are aware of the concept or not. And then what happens? You are not able to solve the question, you get wrong answers, and then you get discouraged, right? So the best thing is to do a bit of self-study if you are really into that stuff, right? Because if you don't want to do it, then it is just a time pass. You're wasting your time, which is again a very heavy thing, wasting time, right? But if you're really into this, you do a bit of self-study, maybe a bit of experimentation here and there. Try to do it without even knowing the concept. How can you approach that problem? And then be aware of the problem, right? And then try to solve the problem, the questions, the main questions. So what will that do? That once you are through with the concept, once you know it, then no question is difficult for you, right? And if in case you're not able to do it yourself, ask your teacher. I have already made a video about that. You don't have to feel shy, no matter how many times it is. Go and ask your teacher, and I'm sure she'll be more than happy to help you out with the concept, right? That's the number two technique. And the third one is a very simple one. It's like 30 to 40 minutes every day of practice that you know already, but this is a focused practice. Like even if you're giving like 25 minutes, give it sincerely, because if you're not giving your time sincerely to it, it is not worth. That will not count as practice time. And you know what? If you're taking hard questions, and sometimes it happens, you took a hard question, you're doing it, but you're not getting the answer, you don't know where to go, you don't know the next step, and you get frustrated, and you just slam your notebook and you're through with it, done the practice time. No, this is not the way. It happens with everybody. People do get stuck at things. So whenever something like that happens, you take a break. Okay, you do go and do something else for 10-15 minutes. No, not touch your phone, not mobile games, not TV. Go and play something, go and sing, go and dance, right? And then come back later. You just cheer yourself up and get into the right mood, and then come back 10-15 minutes later and try to solve that problem again. Now this book says you have entered a mode where your brain was actually working on that problem while you were playing or doing something else, and you'll be able to find the solution to that problem, right? So those are the three techniques. Try them out next time you get stuck. And one very, very, very important thing, if you keep thinking that you are not good at math, children, well, then you will never be good at math. You have to get up in the morning and you have to say to yourself at least 5 times, I love math. Math is my favorite subject and I'm so good at it, right? So many people, when you will hear about them, you'll read about them, you'll get to know, they say some some really positive things about themselves right in the morning, and they repeat it. What you say within your mind is what you become. That's what they say, and that's true. Alright, hope that was of help, and if you think you can help somebody else with this video, do go ahead and share the video, share, subscribe, and I would love to see your comments in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.